Corruption is everywhere, in the news, in governments, in boardrooms, and sometimes even in the institutions we trust the most. But what exactly counts as corruption? Is it just bribery, or is it something much bigger? And more importantly, how do we stop it? In this video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about anti-bribery and corruption, what it is, the different forms it takes, the international laws designed to fight it, and the deep connection between corruption and money laundering. Whether you're in finance, compliance, business, or just someone who wants to understand how financial crime really works, this one is for you. Let's get started. What is anti-bribery and corruption, ABC? It is a measure to prevent the offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting of something of value to improperly influence the actions of a person in a position of trust or authority. Key definitions. Bribery is the offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting of something of value, money, gifts, favors, to influence the actions of an official or person in a position of trust. Can be active offering or passive receiving. Corruption is broader than bribery. It includes abuse of entrusted power for private gain, covers embezzlement, nepotism, kickbacks, and the misuse of public office. Corruption is one of the top predicate offenses for money laundering globally. Facilitation payments. It is a small payments made to low-level officials to expedite routine government actions, e.g. clearing customs, obtaining permits, often referred to as grease payments. Prohibited under most strict ABC regimes, including the UK Bribery Act 2010, though the US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act provides a limited exception. Kickbacks. It is a form of bribery where a portion of funds received from a contract or transaction is secretly paid back to the person who awarded it. Common in procurement, construction, and public contracting. Embezzlement. The fraudulent appropriation of assets or funds by a person entrusted with them. Differs from external theft. The perpetrator already has lawful access. Nepotism/cronyism is favoring relatives, which is nepotism, or associates, which is cronyism in appointments, contracts, or resource allocation, regardless of merit. A form of corruption that undermines institutional integrity. Key international frameworks. UNCAC, UN Convention Against Corruption, 2003. The primary global legal instrument against corruption. Covers prevention, criminalization, international cooperation, and asset recovery. Ratified by over 190 countries. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Anti-Bribery Convention. Focuses specifically on bribery of foreign public officials in international business transactions. Binding on Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development members and several non-members. UK Bribery Act 2010. One of the strictest ABC laws globally. Covers active and passive bribery, bribery of foreign public officials, and uniquely, a corporate offence of failing to prevent bribery. Has broad extraterritorial reach. US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA. Prohibits US persons and issuers from bribing foreign government officials. Also requires accurate books and records, widely enforced with significant extraterritorial impact. Financial Action Task Force Recommendations. Corruption is a designated predicate offense under FATF Recommendation 3. Countries must criminalize ML of proceeds from corruption and ensure financial institutions apply enhanced scrutiny to PEPs and their associates. The link between corruption and money laundering. Corruption generates illicit proceeds that require laundering. This makes ABC and AML deeply interconnected. The proceeds of bribery and embezzlement must be disguised before they can be used or invested. This is the laundering stage. Politically exposed persons, PEPs, are at elevated risk because their position gives them access to public funds and decision-making power. Beneficial ownership opacity, shell companies, nominee directors, is frequently exploited to conceal the corrupt origin of funds. Common laundering methods include real estate purchases, overseas wire transfers, trade-based money laundering, and use of luxury assets. Financial institutions are therefore required to apply enhanced due diligence, EDD, to PEPs and flag transactions that may represent proceeds of corruption. Red flags, ABC, in a financial institution context. A customer's wealth or business income is inconsistent with their public salary or known business activities. Payments routed through jurisdictions with no clear business rationale, particularly high corruption risk countries, per Transparency International's CPI. Requests to make payments to third parties unrelated to the stated purpose of a transaction. A customer who is a government official or public contractor with unusually high cash flows or rapid asset accumulation. Reluctance to provide documentation on the source of funds or beneficial ownership. Transactions structured to avoid reporting thresholds, structuring/smurfing, where the underlying business appears government-linked. Use of multiple accounts, entities, or jurisdictions to obscure the movement of funds. Institutional ABC program components. A robust ABC program within a regulated institution typically includes Gifts and Hospitality Register, a centralized log of all gifts, entertainment, and hospitality offered or received by staff, subject to pre-approval above a threshold value. Conflicts of interest policy requires staff to declare personal or financial interests that could improperly influence professional decisions. Procurement controls, competitive tendering, segregation of duties, and anti-kickback clauses in supplier contracts to prevent corrupt award processes. Third-party due diligence, vetting of agents, intermediaries, and business partners for corruption risk before engagement, particularly in high-risk jurisdictions. Whistleblower/speak-up mechanism, a confidential channel for staff or external parties to report suspected bribery or corruption without fear of retaliation. Tone from the top, visible commitment by board and senior management to zero tolerance for bribery and corruption, embedded in the institution's culture and code of conduct. ABC training, regular staff training on recognizing bribery risks, understanding reporting obligations, and knowing what constitutes a corrupt act. Corruption isn't just a political problem, it's a financial crime with real consequences for real people. When public officials take bribes, when kickbacks corrupt procurement, when embezzled funds get laundered through shell companies, it's ordinary citizens who pay the price. That's why anti-bribery and corruption frameworks exist. From the UN Convention Against Corruption to the UK Bribery Act, from FATF's global standards to the compliance programs inside your own institution, these are the tools we use to fight back. If you work in a regulated environment, understanding ABC isn't optional, it's part of your responsibility. Know the red flags, follow the policies, and if you see something, say something. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe for more compliance and financial crime content, and leave a comment below. What topic do you want us to cover next?